Welcome back to another episode of First Listen, that show where we listen to an album that we've not listened to before for the first time together, react to the tracks, give some overall thoughts on the album.
Today we're going to be listening to Olivia Rodrigo SOUR, which was her first album that absolutely blew her up. She became a global household name, and we're going to listen to it for the first time today.
Let's start with the first track, Brutal.
And I'm so caught up in the news of who likes me and who hates you. And I'm so tired that I might quit my job, start a new life, and they'd all be so disappointed.
Ready for the big hit again.
Here we go. Oh no. Introduce the bass.
Someone tells me one more time, enjoy your youth, I'm gonna cry, and I don't stick up for myself anymore. All I did was try my best.
It's a lot of Scott Pilgrim vibes.
It's brutal out here.
I really like the filter on her voice on this track. It's really nice. I like that ha 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 bit. That's good.
It's brutal out here.
Ooh, proper little singy moment. Good introduction to the album.
I really liked that. I thought that was really good. It had a good chance to showcase the kind of style that she's going to be going for the album, and also show off her vocals, which at the end it kind of isolated them and gave you a glimpse of, oh no, this girl can sing.
And I thought lyrically it was very angsty. I can see obviously there was references to being 17, having a broken heart, etc. Perfect for someone that like really wants to connect with the artist straight away, and especially kind of for the audience that she generally has. It works very well.
Yeah,
Should we move on?
A lot of teenage angst.
Should we move on to the next track, which is one of the big ones, Traitor?
Much calmer start. Nice use of harmonies. I like it. Oh, a big epic feeling. Nice build up.
Real heartbreaker.
The timpani drums, perhaps, something like that.
Is that kind of cheating if someone goes and gets with someone 2 weeks after the breakup from a long relationship?
Is that cheating?
I mean, I know it's technically not, but I get the line where...
Oh, you mean actually cheating in a relationship cheating?
Yeah, because it only took you 2 weeks to go off and date her. I kind of get that. If you were with someone for ages and then they went off and got with someone else 2 weeks later, you'd be like...
If almost instantly you think you must have been talking prior to the end of this. At some point you must have.
Just made me think that line.
I guess that makes him a traitor.
Oh, if you were true, there's no damn way that you could fall in love with somebody that quickly.
I like how she goes from like aggressive vocal delivery to a softer vocal delivery at the end.
When she's sleeping in the bed we made, don't you dare forget about the way you betrayed me. 'Cause I know that you'll never feel sorry. Yeah, you're still a traitor.
Really good vocals there at the end.
Nice calm ending again, kind of the same as the first track. I really like how she delivers her lyrics, because it's not just the standard let's fit it in the 4 bars and let's go how we normally would. The timing and like the length of the words and stuff like that, she's really thought about it and delivers them in a way that's quite interesting, to be fair. It keeps you engaged.
I agree. And for that track specifically, obviously the first track was very energetic. This brought it down in a good way, but also had moments where, as you said, it felt a little bit grander, brought a little bit more energy in, especially in that last section there. I felt maybe it was getting a little bit repetitive, and then they switched it up as soon as I started thinking that. So in terms of a calm track, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And we're up next with a song that we've definitely both heard, one of the big hitters from this album, in Driver's License.
Just like we always talked about, 'cause you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house.
I don't think I've actually heard this. I
You
might have
must
heard
have.
the chorus on like TikToks and that, but other than that, I don't recognize it straight away.
And you're probably with that blonde girl.
It's just full of angsty relationship crying and yeah.
Much older than me. Felt this way for no one.
The way that the vocals mix with the piano there is really nice.
And imagine how
Like slowly leveling up.
So okay, now that I'm gone. Guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me.
So she wrote one as a reply instead.
You said forever, now I drive alone past your street. And all my friends are tired of
That thumping drum, that carries it. That's good.
I kinda feel sorry for them, 'cause they'll never know you the way that I do. And I know we weren't
It's just injecting a bit more energy every like 30 seconds.
waiting for no one. Red lights, stop signs, I still see your face in the white cars, front yards, and I still fucking love you, babe.
It's like waves, that, isn't it? Whoa.
You said forever, now I drive alone past your street.
Another very nice, calm track. I can see why that did so well. Like lyrically, it's so relatable. A proper heartbreak song. It's just nice, isn't it?
I don't think I've ever heard that song, even the chorus or anything to it. Genuinely, I know of Driver's License, of course I do, but I don't know if I was then staunchly against ever listening to it and just said, you know what, I'm not doing this. But that was really, really good. What I really liked about the piano in this track is that you could tell it was a live recording with a microphone because you could hear the key pressing and the pedals being used, like the sostenido pedals and that kind of stuff. So it added like an extra level of her being either stood next to a piano or playing the piano, and it added another layer of emotion.
And the simple ways in which they inject a little bit more energy keep me interested as well. You could have just had a singing over a very similar beat for the whole time, but instead they switched it up a few times, switched up the way she delivered the vocals in that red lights section. Really liked that. We're up next with One Step Forward, Three Steps Back.
All I did was speak normally.
The microphone sounds like ASMR. I feel like I can hear all of her mouth noises.
Do you love me, want me, hate me? Boy, I don't understand. No, I don't understand.
I just like zoned out for a second and was staring at the cat on your shirt, but also the
Okay.
but also the insects and like nature sounds that are going on in the background of this song are so serene. Like you could just sit back and relax and listen to this.
And she's using a different microphone for this track because you can kind of hear the plosives more. Like on Boy, you can really hear that B. Like she's putting her whole body into that.
Do you love me, want me, hate me? Boy, I don't understand. No, it's back and forth. Did I say something wrong?
Oh, I like that. Dun, dun, dun.
Forth, going over everything I said. It's back and forth. No, I don't understand.
Another relaxed moment.
I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed the piano work again. I think already we're on the fourth track, and the piano work on this album is actually pretty noteworthy. I enjoy what they're doing.
The vocal delivery for me is the thing that's making these tracks more unique, if you will. The way that she switches it up. And you kind of alluded to it earlier, but it's not like angry vocals, but just the vocals where there seems to be a bit more energy, like a bit more put into it.
And then it fades off towards the end of that sentence, for it's like going da 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 da.
Yeah,
back
but
down
she
again.
does it so well.
It's like what she's saying with her delivery is, "Oh, I'm getting annoyed at you, but I know I shouldn't be because you know what, it's done. Let's forget about it."
Well, we're on to Deja Vu next, another one of the big songs from this album.
Let's see if I know this one.
I think the only one you'll know is Good For You.
I love Good For You.
Trading jackets, laughing about how small it
The vocal delivery on this is really reminding me of a recent Billie Eilish song.
Even that ghostly background there.
is.
I think it's because it's almost whisper singing, you know, when it's like just enough to make a sound.
In harmony, I bet she's bragging.
I'm waiting for it to kick in. Come on.
Deja vu,
Oh, a lot going on there.
do you call her?
That filtered drum sound, all really compressed. That works so nicely. It's like they bit crushed it. Just
Turned into the great Carly. Nice little guitar riff in the background.
the clean hi-hat being added. Really interestingly about that track being called Deja Vu is that she makes references to the things she said earlier in the track towards the end, but doesn't repeat the lines. So she said, I remember car drives going to Malibu, having strawberry ice cream. And then towards the end, she says, strawberry ice cream, Malibu, talks about Billy Joel again. And it's kind of like the track is Deja Vu in itself. I thought that was quite clever. I liked that.
Very clever. And even just the whole premise of it as well, in the sense of just... You've probably thought that in a relationship before, where you've broke up with someone and then they're going to go do the same things, the same dates, the same whatever with a new person. Quite like that. I thought she explored it really well, and it did bring a better tempo, a higher tempo for the first time in a little while. I think obviously we're going on to Good For You next, so it means the flow of the album is quite good and it's making a lot of sense so far.
Yeah, and another interesting thing about that track was that it was very... The production on it wasn't what I would expect. Everything was very filtered and crushed in the background, and the synth was all over the place, but it worked really nicely with her vocals, and it kind of shows the range that Olivia can have in terms of what she can put her vocals against. We've had nice calm ones, we've had synthetic ones, let's call them that, and next we're on to Good For You.
But before we start that, we're about halfway through the album, so if you have got to this point in the video, please do like and subscribe. It means a hell of a lot to us, but we'll go on to the big hitter.
I adore that. So good. Can you guess what my favourite part of this song is?
The chorus?
The bass line.
Oh, the bass line.
Yeah. You actually need a 5-string bass to play this properly, so I can't play it authentically on my 4-string. There's actually a lot more going on in that section than you initially realise on the surface. The guitar's doing a whole boodle-doo-doo-doo, which we hear later on. It kind of calls back to that. But then also the bass in the background isn't just following a 4-chord pattern. He's going all over the board, and it sounds massive while still being pretty simplistic.
It's still so catchy, isn't it? Like anyone can get that chorus and love it, but as you say, more to dive into makes it an even better song. Like distorted guitar going on.
This is anthemic. This is so good.
I just realised that says wounded soul. I thought it said a wounded soul for years. Apathy's like a wounding soul.
I thought it said wounded a wounded soul. Yeah, I did. Maybe we should listen to the lyrics more. Fantastic track. Absolutely phenomenal.
I think that this is pop punk for the pop generation.
This is poppy punk.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah.
And on her newer album as well, I've never listened to that in full, so let us know if you want us to do that at some point. But I know that there's even more of that with a lot more guitar, and it kind of feels a little bit more rocky or pop punky. But I love that. I can see why it got some comparisons to Paramore at the time. I remember seeing that online.
Well, Hayley Williams is actually credited as a writer on this track, even though she wasn't there for the writing purposes of the track, because it was so close to a Paramore song that they kind of had to give her writing credits on it because it seemed so heavily inspired. I think it was a mutual thing, though. I don't think Olivia was trying to fight it in court. I think she just said, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I was inspired by them, so.
I like that. What are you thinking of the album so far, Tim? We're officially over the halfway point.
I'm liking it. I'm liking the trajectory that it's on. It's taken, it injects the energy right from the get-go. It kind of takes a lull. It's come back up now. We're waving back up. I don't know what the second half's going to do. I'm kind of expecting a couple more ballady tracks, but I'm expecting 2 or 3 more quite upbeat, high-tempo tracks.
Yeah, we're usually here for the energy, but the calm tracks on this have been really good. Honestly, this is genuinely my first time listening to a lot of these. Obviously, I've heard like Good For You before and Driver's License, but apart from that, I've enjoyed it. Like, genuinely, Olivia Rodrigo's vocals are some of the best from especially a debut album I've heard in a little while.
And we'll go on to the next track, which is Enough For You.
You'd like me more if I looked like the other prom queens. I know that you love.
Again, the flow of the vocals is different. It's nice. She switches it up so much.
Just for you to say you're not the compliment type, and you left me there crying, wondering what I did.
I like that vocal melody. Dun, 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 dun.
Kind of looking for that revenge.
Yeah, you always say I'm never satisfied, but I don't think that's true. No, nothing's enough for you.
Probably in terms of sounds, the most basic song so far. Not that that's a problem. After the last 2, which have been pretty energetic, we would expect that.
I don't think it was quite enough for me, unfortunately. There wasn't a whole lot going on in it. I thought it was all right. The vocals were good, but personally, I would have liked a little bit more of a switch up at some point. But I think it serves its purpose as kind of like a melodic, this is my emotions, I'm going to lay them all out, I'm going to let you know how I feel about what happened. So yeah, didn't hate the track, but I kind of, after Good For You, I wanted to carry on that hype of energy, and I think that's just killed it off entirely.
Yeah, definitely. It completely changed the vibe. One thing that I'm thinking at this point in the album, obviously with 7 songs in now, Olivia Rodrigo must have had some horrible high school relationships.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because she only released this, when she was like 19, 20, I think? Damn, she's had some heartbreak going on. Either that or she's just very good at writing about heartbreak.
Let's jump on to the next track, which is Happier. And will this track be happier? Let's find out.
Highly doubt it.
And I thought my heart was detached from all the sunlight.
A lot of these songs have been about like not only the breakup, but also the fact that they then go get with someone else very quickly.
Do you think it's aimed at one guy? It's got to be aimed at one guy, surely. Can you imagine being that annoyed that you write this many songs about one person? Crazy.
With me, I'm selfish, I know. I can't let you go. So find someone great, but don't find no one better. I hope you're happy, but don't be happier.
Oh?
Do you tell her she's the
Oh, that was really non-standard timing there.
I hope you're happy, but not like how you were with me. I'm selfish.
I quite like the brutal honesty of that line. Like, I hope you're happy, but not as much as you were with me. Like, you can be okay, but you can't be like that good.
And then immediately following up by saying, I'm selfish, I know, but that's just how I feel. It's very self-aware is what it is.
Don't be happier.
Oh, that like a plane crashing almost. Like the jet engines.
Damn, bro. That's what you're thinking of straight away.
That's what she's thinking. I'll get on that plane now. Go on.
I hope you're happy, but don't be happier.
That ending was great. Just the yep, and then cutting out and just letting Olivia deliver her vocals. I think that was a really good track.
For many songs she's done that way, it's just been super calm for the last like 10, 15 seconds. And it has meant the album's flowed well, but I've heard this complaint from you before. Sometimes I think it's a bit of a cheat code. Just like taking it down to practically nothing at the end of lots of songs means that does it actually flow that well?
But it's not a fade out, which is what I am staunchly against. I don't like anything less. Is that the word? Don't like anything more? I don't like it when an artist decides that at the end of a song, they just fade it out to nothing. Whereas she's not really fading it out to nothing. She's kind of having these build-ups and then a drop-off and just delivering the vocals. What I more so dislike is just where it gets quiet and it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this is quite good. It adds a bit of punctuation and says, this is the end of the track. Here's a little bit of a motif at the end of something I want to say, and then it's done.
A little bit of a motif. Anyway, we're on to the last 3 tracks, the first of which is Jealousy, Jealousy. Jealousy is something that she has been portraying this entire album, to be fair, so this one, I don't even know what to expect.
Different vocals again. Bit more raspy, a bit more real.
Ooh.
Bars. God damn. Piano doing bits.
I know we're nearly at the end of the song, but that section was literally just like she was shouting at someone angrily.
And then the piano started going discordal and more like ding,
Yep.
ding, ding, because she was just getting angry. And then it immediately cuts out to her going, no. And I feel like that's been a trope across the whole album, and I quite like it because it's like, I'm angry. No, I shouldn't be angry.
Like, why am I
It's
doing
not
this to
what-
myself?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
It's a great section, that. Really liked that as well, because it was one of the first tracks on the album that wasn't about heartbreak. So brought in a different topic, more about like comparison, comparing yourself to other people, etc., and covered it very well in what I would say was potentially my favorite produced track on the album in terms of the different sounds, the different instruments, etc., that came in and out. I will add that to my playlist. Never heard that before. Really enjoyed it.
No, I'd never heard that. And other than Good For You, I think this is probably my favorite track so far. Wow, really good. There was delivery throughout it. There was changing vocals. She did soft singing, angry singing, a little bit of flow in there, a bit of talky, choppy kind of lyrics. Everything about that track was really good.
Well, Tim, favourite crime is up next.
What crime is going to be Olivia Rodrigo's favourite?
Loving Too Much.
Sodomy.
One heart broke, 4 hands bloody. The things I did.
She's really good with harmonies. Her voice lends to these ghostly harmonies so nicely.
All the things I did, just so I could call you mine.
I don't know why. You know, like all the things I did just so I could call you mine. I kind of love it because there's loads of references to that in music. Like, look at the struggles I went through and stuff, as if someone's been through like a war zone to find their lover. But really, it's like, what did you buy a strawberry matcha latte or something and take it to his house? Do you know what I mean? though?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. In relative terms, it makes sense because they still made a lot of effort and probably went through a lot of heartache. And
Why are
stuff.
you crying?
I made myself laugh, bro. I just thought, well, what did you do?
Was it the strawberry matcha?
Yeah, what did you do, really?
All the things you did. Well, I hope I was your favorite crime. Your favorite crime. Your favorite crime. 'Cause baby, you were mine.
Couple of lines at the end where it's as if she's gone, no, I'm going to sing for a second. I'm going to hit some great notes. Liked that again. My only complaint so far in the album, to be honest, is, and I was going to say this about the last song, but it switched up the theme. It does feel like a lot of the songs are just the same story. She has rewritten them well, and I appreciate that, and I've still enjoyed them as tracks, but I just think listening to it as an entire album, maybe I've had a little, like after 10 tracks about heartbreak, pretty much, maybe I've had enough of that.
I think she's given enough like difference in the emotions that she's trying to get across on each track, because there's jealousy, there's heartbreak, there's lots of different emotions that she's trying to get across. But I do agree that at this point, maybe switch up the topic slightly, maybe add a little bit more aggression. I just want more energy, but that's just a personal thing. These kind of ballady songs aren't really my cup of tea, but I do appreciate, especially this track, I quite liked that. I quite liked the addition. There was a really like rumbly, synthy bass in the background that kept cropping up every now and again. And I think just little bits like that really add a lot to a track that maybe doesn't have that much substance.
Yeah, again, it's not a massive complaint from me. It's more so just saying, I hope we're on to the last song next. So I hope that this maybe changes the theme a little bit. I don't think it will. And I suppose it's fine. It's a short album. It's like 35 minutes. So we're not expecting it to be completely different topics each time. But that's my only slight gripe with it. But before we go on to the last song, which is hope you're okay, please, again, remember to hit like and subscribe, but also leave a comment. Let us know what you think of Sour and what album we should listen to next. Well, I like the sound of that instantly from the first note.
It's got like a vintage filter on it, that white noise that's just slightly there. Like you're playing an old vinyl almost. But then clean vocals on top of that. It's good.
His parents cared more about the Bible than being good to their own child. He wore long sleeves because of his dad.
That's actually a crazy line, though, when you think about it. His parents cared more about the Bible than being good to their own child. He wore long sleeves because of his dad. Like, that's very good songwriting.
Couldn't wait to go to college. She was tired because she was brought into a world where family was merely blood. Does she know how proud I am she was created?
This is a really heartfelt track.
Courage to unlearn all of their hatred. We don't talk much, but I just gotta say I miss you. And I hope that you're okay. I trust the letters.
Oh, grandioso.
Kind of feels Lana Del Rey-esque.
Nothing is as good as it seems. 'Cause I love you. And I hope that you're okay.
Could you imagine listening to this track as Olivia Rodrigo's middle school friend or something? You didn't know she was going to release this. You get to the end of the album and there's a heartfelt ballad, and that would bring you to tears.
Really unique ending there. There was like a faint tape recording of voices or something being played in the background, which caught my attention for a second. But I thought that was a fantastic way to end the album. And I said in the previous track, I hope this is something with a different theme. And it was. Yeah. And it was a really good one, talking about like kind of how people are treated unfairly in the unfair lives and cards that they're dealt, and have friends in school and stuff. I thought that was a really good song.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that track. I think it did a really good job of getting across a nice little message. And I think, like I was saying, it would have helped the people that she was friends with if they hear this track and gone, oh shit, she did care. There was somebody out there that cared at the time when I was at my lowest. And hopefully now they are okay. Hopefully they're doing well. So that was Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. What did you think?
I must admit, I was pleasantly surprised. Although a lot of it was all about heartbreak. I'm here for a little heartbreak number. You know, one of my main genres is pop punk, and that's all about heartbreak all the time. And I can really see how younger people would connect to this album, as well as an older audience that have been through a little bit more of those life experiences. But either way, I think the production throughout was fantastic. There was some more high energy moments. I wish we had one or two more tracks with a bit more drums, a bit more guitar in there. but there was enough. It was fine. A very short album, but one which I enjoyed.
Yeah, I agree with you that I would have liked a little bit more up-tempo tracks in there, a little bit more energy infused, but overall I think this was a great album. I think there's fantastic songwriting throughout. I think her vocal lines and the delivery was great. Olivia did such a good job there. And I think overall this project is... I don't know if it's underrated or overrated. I don't know what people rate it as, but I think more people need to listen to this album as a whole, because I know you've got Good For You and songs like that were bigger than the album, but the way that they work within the track listing adds so much to it. There's so much more context then once you go through it all. And when you get to the point where Good For You comes on, you've kind of gone on this little adventure to get there. And as soon as that kicks in, you're like, oh, here we go. And then it kind of lulls you back out again. So it's almost like the first track was a bang slap in the face, then it lulled, then it came back, and then it lulled and went out nicely at the end. And yeah, it was a good adventure. I liked it. A good journey.
Her vocals were really good throughout this as well. As you said, loads of different styles, but also loads of moments where she just proves that she can sing. We're going to see her live in a couple months now. I'm excited. I think it'll be fantastic. Obviously, I've never listened. I had to go and have a look. I've never listened to Guts in full either. Maybe that's one we could do in the future, because I enjoyed that album so much. It's a bit annoying, actually, because now I kind of want to go listen to Guts, but I'm like, maybe we should save it for a first listen.
That's the problem with doing these, is you find an artist that you go, you know what, I liked this way more than I thought I would. I want to go explore the discography, but then you think, no, because then that's content gone.
Anyway, that was Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. If you like this video, we have also done a first listen for Coldplay Parachutes and Taylor Swift Folklore. I'll leave them linked at the end of the video. Hit like and subscribe. We'll catch you again soon.
Thank you very much for watching.